You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 1130 podcast, Dre on wheels, he is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. No, with me, yeah. I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 1130 podcast, Dre.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels, back at it with another one, man. Welcome everyone to another episode of the 1130 podcast. What's good, everybody doing out there? Appreciate everyone tuning back into the show. If you're new to the podcast show, you're on YouTube, definitely do me a huge favor before we get into everything. Hit that subscribe button down below, like it, leave a comment, and share it. Do all that great stuff, and don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, man, I'm back at it. You know what time it is. It's not 7:30, it's 11:30, man. I'm excited. Got a cool guest that's joining me on this week's episode of the podcast. You guys, she's a fitness trainer and a healthy living coach, and also she's a certified personal trainer. You guys, yes, Candice Hall is going to be joining me on this week's episode of the 1130 podcast. She's standing by right now. We ain't gonna waste no more time. We're gonna get into it. Candice, how's it going?
It's going great.
Hey, how's it going? How I like treating you?
Life has treated me great. You know, I can't complain. Woke up this morning, was motivated to start my fresh week, get another chance to do it all over again. So, very motivated
awesome.
today.
Hey, that's what's up. You got to stay motivated. Got to find something that motivates you.
Yes.
Hey, it's hard times though, but I appreciate you once again, Candice, for taking the invite, coming on the podcast show.
And thank you for having me.
No problem. Anytime, no problem. But for my listeners and viewers out there, tell everyone about yourself. Tell everyone about Candice Hall.
Okay, well, my name is Candice Hall. I am the ouner of No Excuses Fitness Studios. You can see my sign behind me. I am located in Maple Heights, Ohio. In Southgate. I have been here. We've been open and established for about 9 years now. We're a fun, family-oriented group fitness studio where we offer a variety of different classes, from yoga to Zumba to step. We have what you're looking for, and not only do we also offer, dietary meal plans, anything you're looking for in regards to getting yourself on the right track towards a healthy lifestyle. We have it here. And we also do personal training as well. So, if you want to do a group versus doing the one-on-one, we got it.
Okay. Hey, that sounds interesting. Definitely sound interesting. Well, I'm definitely interested in the backstory also of how you became this awesome, certified fitness coach, and with the healthy living and everything, because you've been doing your thing with this for over 15 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so how did all of this, begin for you? Being a personal coach.
Well, Dre, that's a good question. I actually started, let me just back up. So I've always been active. In high school, I played a lot of sports. I was always active. And always thought I was in shape. I guess I took it for granted being young. When you're young, you can burn calories like that, right?
Yeah.
You eat anything you want and it doesn't affect you. So I went into the military after high school just to get some money for college. And I realized that's when I got in the best shape of my life. Working out every day, being forced to work out every day. It wasn't a choice, as you know, in the military. But I remember coming back and I was in the best shape of my life. But again, I took it for granted. And then I got pregnant with my daughter. And during my pregnancy, I gained about 70 pounds. And after I had her, it was a struggle for me to lose that weight. I became depressed. My self-esteem was really low because I couldn't get back to what I thought was my old me. So I just started going back to stuff I did in the military, because I remember that sticking in my head. Like, I was in the best shape of my life when I was in the military. So I started doing things that I was doing in the military, started exercise a lot more, started researching a lot about diet and how diet plays such a huge role in your weight loss. Also just your health overall. So I started making healthier health eating choices, and incorporated the two together, and I was able to lose the weight on my own. But then It's nice to do it on your own, but you also need some motivation, right? Sometimes you need a little boost to kind of keep you going. So I started going to some group fitness classes with my big sister, Sadaka. She had a fitness program that I joined. And from there, I learned that, hey, I actually like this group fitness aspect. I love that we can feed off each other's energy. I felt that I pushed myself even more because of the energy and the hypeness of the group. So from there, I went to her and I was like, I think I may like this group fitness thing. Tell me how to do this. So she was my mentor. She held my hand throughout the whole process. She told me what certifications to get. She let me teach my first couple classes. And once I got bit by that bug, it was over. I saw the impact of not only of the participants in the class of their aesthetic change, but I also saw their self-esteem get better. I saw them holding their head higher, feeling so much better about themselves. It was more than just about fitness. It was about them feeling good about who they were. And that's when I was like, okay, I want to impact people's lives like that. I want them to realize it's not always about looking snatched and having
Mm,
that Coke bottle figure. It's about how do you feel about yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror. Do you say, I look good? So,
mm,
yeah, that's my background on like
mm.
how I got um, interested in this profession.
Okay, okay, I dig it. I dig it. A couple things that you mentioned though, the part where I think you said from transition from the military, and then you had a child and stuff, and you sort of felt, sort of got depressed.
Yes.
Depression sort of came up on you. How did you handle that? From that transition from the military, and trying to get back in shape and everything, and also raise a little girl.
Yeah. So I will say that I tell people all the time that in order to stay motivated, you have to find your reason why, right? I knew I wanted to do because I wasn't feeling good, but that's just not because some days I might feel good and be like, okay, well, I ain't got to work out today because I feel good today. So I had to dig deeper than that. I was just so surface. So my why was my daughter. My why was, okay, I want to set a good example for her. I want to be healthy for, my grandkids and be able to play with her. And I just wanted to set a good example for her. So that's what kind of pushed me through. Even those hard days, I had to dig deep and remember what my why. Um, the transition from me gaining this weight and working out, what I noticed was also is that when you work out, you release endorphins. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's a hormone. It's like a happy drug. It makes you feel like you're like
Hmm.
a natural high. So after
Yeah.
you're done working out, you're like, oh, I did it, I accomplished it. And so I started chasing that as well. I love the feeling, and it made me feel like I did something bomb. I don't know what I did, but it made me feel great. So I wanted to show that to other people as well, that you can just feel so accomplished by just doing a 30-minute workout because you're gonna get those endorphins moving. So yeah, that's how it was transitioning for me. That's how I stay motivated because it was rough. And there
Okay.
were days where I was like, I can't, I just can't. But what made me dig deep was just my why.
Okay, okay, I get it. Do you have a cheat meal?
Oh yeah, you gotta have. So this is what I tell my clients, Dre, because everybody asks that, right? So it's a it's an 80-20 rule, right? So if you eat healthy 80% of the time,
Okay.
that little cheat meal, that 20% is not going to impact you at all. But the problem is most of us, we're the opposite, right? 20% we're like, okay, I'm going to eat a salad, but then we're going to eat everything
Yeah.
we're not supposed to eat, the other 80%. So we just need to switch that whole formula and then we would all be good. But yeah, I do have a cheat meal. Yep.
Okay, okay. So what's healthy and what's not healthy? Because you also mentioned how when you're young you can eat anything. You can just eat about whatever you want to eat. And now at 30 something years old, you you can't eat what you want to eat, or think you about to eat something, or go lay down and you sweating in the morning because your stomach hurt. And I had one of them days a couple of days ago. So I'm trying to get right. I'm telling my fiance, I'm like, man, we got to do some more salads and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yes.
so what's healthy? What's a good healthy plan? And what's not healthy, because there's a lot of things going on, especially with the food nowadays and everything.
Yeah. So there's first of all, there's a lot of fad diets. So the
Hmm.
first thing I tell people is if it's a diet, don't do it. Because a diet is short term. Short term means is you're not going to sustain it. You're gonna everything you love is going to be taken out, and the chances of you sustaining that is going to be very low. What I tell people is it's a lifestyle change. So healthier food. So I tell my clients, write down everything you eat. Give me a food journal from day one. I need 3 days of a food journal. So that way I can understand what do you like? Like this is stuff you like McDonald's, you like the Whopper, whatever. Just be transparent. So that way you can still indulge in some of the things that you like, but we'll just tweak it a little bit and make it healthier choices. So of course, healthy eating means making sure you get a vegetable in every meal and protein, a lean protein every meal. As we get older, like you were mentioning, I said earlier, when we're younger, we don't worry about what we eat because we'll burn it off. That's because our metabolism is so high, it's so fast when we're young. But as we get older, it slows on down, just like everything else. It slows on down. So in order to combat that, we have to reduce the amount of fat intake that we eat. And that's why you want to stick with your lean protein and vegetables. Now, carbs are good too, but you have to be strategic on when you eat your carbs because carbs are your fuel to get you through the workout. So you want to eat your carbs like right before a workout, right? Because that way it'll give you the energy to get through the workout, and then it won't turn to fat. So those are some tips I usually share with my clients that are just getting started.
Okay.
Those little steps will make a big impact.
Okay, I dig it. I dig it though. But here in DC, it is not that what it's not that many options to go for when you go to the grocery store, and food be so high though. But can you speak on that though, because it is like certain food out here that's just not um healthy for us, and the food we're synthetic. I don't know if you heard about meat and stuff like that.
Oh
So
yeah.
what's a good what was a good like you said, carbs and protein, but was a good balance though to actually stay fit, and was also a good way to you stay fit.
So I stick with organic. It's just less pesticides. It's just less chemicals. I agree, Dre, that there's a lot of you've seen so many studies about how they're what they're doing to the meat before they even slaughter it, right? So some of the steroids they put in the meat to try to make the meat bigger so they can get more money. It's just greed. So I try to stick to organic as much as possible, but it is pricey, I know. Um, but what I eat, I always eat chicken, fish, turkey, um, any type of seafood that's always a constant in my diet, always. I also, drink smoothies. That's a great way to kind of get some nutrients in real quick. You don't like vegetables, you don't like fruit, just put in a smoothie and grind it and blend it on up, and then you'll have all your nutrients right there. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. So I've been doing this for years. And when I first started, I just started making little changes. The biggest change and the first change I made was I stopped drinking anything but water. So no pop, no juice, no nothing. I just did that one thing, and I noticed a difference. And not even just my weight. I was losing weight because you're drinking calories too. But also my skin got clear. I've had more energy. I felt more hydrated. Um, so now I just tell people don't drink your calories. Don't waste your calories on drinking. If you want that burger or whatever, don't waste it and add more calories drinking a crushed orange soda right after it. Save those calories for what you want to eat. Eat your calories. So yeah, just making those small steps each couple weeks, you'll get there.
Okay, okay, I dig it. I definitely dig it. Look here, I'm trying to uh fish, chicken, and cutting out ground beef. I think that's one thing that we definitely agreed on, because all the the fat and stuff like that, and
Yeah, and
definitely how it makes. Pork, definitely. Yeah, I haven't had pork in I don't know when, but yeah, a long time. So that's awesome. That's really really awesome though. But for you, a fitness coach, if you could, train or do anything with anyone, as a personal fitness coach, who would you like to do it with?
You know, there's a lot of like celebrity fitness people that I would love to work with to kind of get their connects. Um, I know one in particular is Dwight. He's in state. I think his home is in Atlanta. I just love his energy and how he is on 10 all the time.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's contagious. So I would love to kind of pick his brain a little bit to kind of figure out what motivates him. Maybe that could help me as well. But
Okay.
to train somebody, a celebrity, train a celebrity. Um, that's a good. I don't think I have a favorite celebrity that I would want to train.
Okay.
Of course, I have my favorite celebrities but they're already in shape. They're already in shape. They have their own personal trainers. They're already in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. That's cool. That's
No,
cool. That's
no,
cool.
I don't. I do know. I do know. I
Okay.
think it would be, and it wouldn't be for training purposes or fitness related. It would be for business purposes. Either Diddy or Deion Sanders. And that's because they both have this 10 to 15 step forward mentality when it comes to business. So they make a move, but we think it's just a move they're doing right now. They've already thought of their next 25 moves. They're great businessmen. I would just love to pick their mind while I'm training them. Like, hey, what do you think about this from a business standpoint? I would just love to learn from that.
Okay, okay, I dig that. I dig that. When you said Diddy, I was like, okay, he one of the top, black entrepreneurs out there who did music, got bottles, everything. He done everything. And when you said Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, though, I was going to ask why you say Deion.
Because I think his ability to motivate is remarkable. Um, Not even just those young boys on his squad. He's, motivating the world, pretty much showing the world, what can be done with just positivity and the right people in place. And
Okay,
showing that you care about the people that you support. So, I would just like to learn from him. I think he's very motivational. He has some good one-liners. I want to learn some of his one-liners, his catchphrases.
okay, okay. Where you from again?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, okay. I dig it. I dig it. Yeah. Coach Prime, I think is awesome. I think he had a whole lot of. He was in the news. A whole. He was in the news in the limelight a whole lot because of the whole switch over from Colorado
Yes,
and stuff like
yes,
that. So, hey, look here, it's business. I definitely like him, and he got a cool head on his shoulder. I think
yeah.
he's all
And
right.
he's thinking forward. That's another reason. I think him and Diddy. That's the reason why I chose them because they're thinking forward. They're thinking long term, and so far ahead, probably of what we would even imagine.
Okay, okay. You
And
said
as
you
a
was
business, yeah,
okay,
yep.
okay. You said you were an athlete, right?
I
You say
Yes,
sports. What
I
sports you were
did.
into?
I ran track,
Okay.
and I played basketball. Basketball, I shouldn't even really bring that up. I played basketball my ninth grade year. I tried it. I was not good at shooting at all, but I was good at
Why?
defense.
Okay,
But
okay.
I
Why you say
tried
you
it
weren't good? Why you say you weren't
because
good?
I didn't get any, no
No
points,
points,
no
no
points.
triple doubles, no double double, no
And
nothing.
no, no, never that. And I think I had a lot of growing up to do because I was I used to get very aggravated and agitated, just not good sportsmanship. But I ran track. I love track. I was a cheerleader. I was on the dance line. Um, yeah, that's pretty
Okay,
much what I did in high school.
okay, okay. Not necessarily a team player or just basketball wasn't your thing
No, I'm
because track,
definitely a team. Yeah, I'm definitely
Oh,
a team player because I was on the
okay,
relay teams and stuff like that. And I think it was the fact that they're yelling in your face, ball, 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 and it's very physical. And you may get elbowed, a couple times, and that can get you upset. So I think that's where, or getting called some type of foul when you felt like I didn't do that,
Yeah,
so yeah, I
I
just had a
get
lot
it.
of maturing to do. I was, 14, so yeah.
Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. I dig it. I dig it. You talked about how your daughter motivates you. Though. What keeps you inspired on a daily basis? Is it your daughter?
Yes, it's my family. It's my
Okay.
family. My daughter definitely plays a huge role in it. But my family, I want to make them proud. I want to, we have a family of entrepreneurs. My husband is an entrepreneur too. He owns a car dealership, Carland. Shout out to Carland.
Hey.
So we as business owners want to show our family and our children that you can be an entrepreneur and be successful at it, but you got to put the work in. So it's
Mhm.
all about hard work.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I got a son. He's one, and he's actually probably in the background making some noise right now. But that's one thing I definitely want to teach him. As he get older, about being an entrepreneur and stuff, and how you could, work for yourself, and how society is towards black people, and you might not get that many opportunities, and so you got to create some opportunities and for yourself and stuff like that. So
Yes, yes,
I, I
yes.
definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that. But you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the 11:30 podcast. You guys, man, Candice, we gonna keep it rolling on.
Okay.
I'm trying to get everything situated right. But yes, it's time for the 11:30 podcast. Hot seat, you guys.
All right, it's getting
Okay.
hot in here.
Yes, it is. It really is, though. It really is hot in here. Okay, I got 5 questions for you, Candice, and we're
Okay.
gonna roll with it. You ready?
Okay. I
Okay, all
think.
right. You think so? Okay. Every time I get to this segment, everybody get nervous. They like it's really hot now. It's really hot.
Right. Sweat.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. What are the common misconceptions people have about you?
um. That. Um. That I am a pushover when it comes to being a fitness instructor. I'm very personable. I'm very likable. I want to talk and give you hugs and all that. But then when it's time to work, they're shocked. They're like, "Oh, this is a different side of you. This is a different side of you." I go into drill sergeant mode where let's do this. This is you. You came to me. This is why you want. This is what you're doing this for. So let's focus. Let's do this. And I think that catches a lot of people off guard.
People be thinking you bull driving at first, and be like, "Oh yeah, she's sweet and all, okay, yeah." And
Uh-huh.
then when it's time to work out, she's like, "Oh, I think I might want to quit. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know, man. It's hot in here."
yes, right, Dre. I get that a lot. I do. I get that a lot.
Okay, okay. Is there anything you regret deeply?
Um, I regret not doing this sooner. I regret not taking the leap for entrepreneurship earlier. I think I knew what I wanted to do, but there was always that fear. And I think having my daughter was the push I needed. But I wish I would have done this earlier.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna get back to the questions real fast. You said something that was so interesting and that I always talk about. Can you talk about the leap though? That leap
Woo,
that you have to take, just to bet on yourself or
yes.
just go at it.
That's deep, Dre. Cause
Yes.
you know, I I work in corporate. I still work in corporate America. But the leap for me was just believing in myself, believing in the gift that God gave me, and believing that this is His path. And who am I to not share my gift to the world? Right. So that was the biggest leap for me, just trusting myself to just do it. Just go ahead and open your business. But also, I tell people it's good to jump off, take that leap, but do it the right way. So make sure that you've done all your research. Know that you are a subject matter expert in whatever field that you're in or you're trying to get in, that you know about your competitors, you know about everything. So that way your chances of success are going to be higher.
hmm I dig it. I dig it. The leap is very, very important, and I think also believing in yourself. A lot of people get, real um, uh, shy, but I'm trying to find the actual word that I'm looking for. But people, turn out to just don't believe in themselves, and
Yeah.
they tend to, when they get on social media, they support everybody else, man. But you could do it too. You could
Yes,
definitely do it.
you
Just
could do
just
it.
go at it, and consistency is the key. And I think people, I say, well, you if you get up and you go to work every day, you can get up and do what you got to do as an
Say that.
entrepreneur and be consistent, at it. So it, I guess it's because they paying you $25 an hour just to forget about what you actually love or whatever. But hey, yeah,
Yeah.
it's deep. It's definitely deep. Okay,
Yeah.
this was kind of a little thing we was talking about earlier though. But who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Oh, easy. Usher. Usher, Usher. Well, before Usher it was New Edition. Let me put that out there. New Edition was
Okay.
first. But Usher, I've been to every concert. I've drugged my sister to every concert when he comes to Cleveland. I actually drugged my husband to Vegas to see his show in Vegas, and he's like,
Oh.
"Okay, now." But yeah, definitely my high young girl high school crush.
Okay.
He's a hit
Oh,
maker, great
yes,
entertainer.
he is. That's awesome that you say that. That is my favorite singer. That's my favorite
Oh,
singer. When I was little, I'm telling you, Nice and Slow came on. Tell me what you want to do with me.
okay.
Like the video. What was I think? You make me wanna. It was a little
Oh,
dance
with
he
the hat
did. And,
and
yeah,
the
yeah,
shoes. Oh yeah, 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 yes, yes,
yeah.
yes,
That was my man. That was my man.
yes.
Okay, I dig it. Okay, what's the one thing you want to achieve in life but struggle with?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What's one thing you want to achieve in life but you struggle with?
Um, I think so. I want to achieve establishing a business, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about what I mean by that. So, right for years, I'm actually in the process of trying to do that now. But for years, I've had my business, right, or had my company, no excuses. But I was functioning it as a hustle, meaning I was a one woman show. I didn't have a team of experts to kind of help me grow and expand my brand that knew, like a content creator, marketing, a financial expert, all of that. You need a team of people in order to be successful. You can't do it all on your own. And I think that I am in the process now of trying to transition from hustle to a business where we have certain people in place that are responsible for certain things, so that way your business can grow. Can't do it. You can't do it all by yourself. In the beginning, you can. In the beginning, it's probably a must because you don't have the resources. But as you grow and put that money back into your business, hire, get people, even people that want to volunteer their time, get people that are good at certain different aspects. So that way you can really focus on the part that you love. As a business owner, you're a content creator, you're your social media person, you're everything. And you sometimes it takes away from your gift, your creativity. Or so I think that's where I want to be eventually, more in the business aspect. And so far have couple new people on my payroll, but I'm transitioning. I'm learning as I go. So that's
Okay.
that's my biggest thing. And I
Hey, look
actually
at
got that from a rapper, and I can't remember his name. I was just telling my husband that it was so like insightful that he said so many of us have our own companies or LLCs or whatever we have, but we're hustlers. We're not business people because
mm,
business people are in charge of a team. We have an executive team, and that is your business. I was like, I'm a hustler. I've been hustling for years. So now I'm trying to transition.
I dig that. I definitely dig that, and I agree with you. And me starting out December will be 4 years in the
Oh,
podcast. So I've been,
congratulations.
thank you, and I've been, doing it, hustling, as you say, just about myself. But I think that is one big goal for the podcast, to have a whole team. Because I gotta, get guests. You gotta put out the
Yes.
clips. You gotta edit. You gotta
Yes.
do all this and everything. So I'm like, woo,
Yes.
and hey, that's just what it. But okay,
Yes.
last question that I like to ask though. If you had a warning label on it, what would it say?
A warning label on like no excuses.
if you had a warning label on you, what would it say?
Oh, on me.
Yes.
Um, I think it would just be my slogan, leave your excuses at the door. I just don't do excuses. People make time for things that they want to do. Everything
Yes.
else is an excuse.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
right about that. So right about that. I agree. I agree 100%. 1000% even more. Okay, look at Candice. I appreciate you for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show. It was really awesome. Love your energy and everything.
Thank
And it was
you.
really awesome having you. But before you go, you have any
Yes.
questions, any shout outs, anything you'd like to say?
First I want to shout out Patrice Jackson, who is my content creator. She was my first leap into the business aspect I was telling you about, to get somebody who is good at what they do. She's my content creator slash assistant. She does a little bit of everything. But a shout out to her for, setting this up. Dre, shout out to you. You're a great interviewer. Had a great
Thank
time.
you.
It felt like I was just talking to an old friend. Um,
Thank you.
and then shout out my husband, Carland LLC. My husband, thanks for your support. My family, thanks for your support. Yeah, and don't forget to check out No Excuses in Maple Heights. Come see us. Leave your excuses at the door and be stronger than your excuses. Let's make it happen.
All right, all right. I dig it. Look at I dig it. You have any social medias where people can follow you at anything?
Yes, my social No Excuses. It's my ad at IG, Candice Hall, or No Excuses on Facebook as well. TikTok is No Excuses as well. And No Excuses
Okay.
is spelled KNOW excuses. And the reason why it's KNOW is because we all know our excuses, right? We know what they are. So now we need to eliminate them. So, yeah.
I dig that. I dig that. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, Candice, appreciate you once again for coming through here on the podcast show. All the links will be down below so you can go visit Candice Hall and definitely get some personal training and stay fit for real. And her social media accounts will be down below in the description. Man, this was an awesome time. Like I said, it was really cool. Some guests, come on and sometimes be a closed shell and got to get them to open up, but you was really open. So I love it. You're always welcome here. Also, shout out to Patrice Jackson for setting this all up. But
Yeah.
everyone, sit tight. We're going to take a quick break. I got the WTF moment and more. Don't move. You're listening and you're watching to the 11:30 podcast. You did.
Yes, that's right. New merch. Yes, new merch is available now. Head over to bonfire.com/the 1130 podcast to place your order. I have t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, hats, you name it. Everything you want from the 1130 podcast is right here in one place. So head over to bonfire.com/the 1130 podcast to pick you up some monumental gear ahead of the new season of the 1130 podcast. Go get you some now.
Here on the 11:30 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the short break. I want to say thank you to Candice Hall for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show this week. It was a great time having you. Great conversation. The fact that you ain't had no triple doubles, I think that was hilarious though. But really awesome guest for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast. All her links will be down below. If you definitely want a nice workout or a fitness trainer or such, and Candice Hall is the person to go to for real. Really great guest. I want to shout out everyone who tuned in last week's episode, the season premiere with Portia. Man, awesome episode. Thank you, Portia, for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show. I want to thank everyone, man, for tuning into the episode and subscribing. It was really, really a great week. Commission talk, man. We back again. We on Buzzing with Marlo this week. We was on the 11:30 podcast, my podcast channel last week, man. So I'm glad to be back here in the swing of everything. And also got Talk Pro Wrestling this Friday. Shout out to my guy Brian B, the host of the Beeline Entertainment LLC. He was on Talk Pro Wrestling with me, chatting it up, man. And it was an awesome time. And speaking of Talk Pro Wrestling, I want to thank everyone for listening to the podcast, the audio version, man, specifically based throughout the summer. And I know I've been a little bit behind updating the episodes on, Anchor and, Spotify or however it goes, to get the podcast out. That I've been really tripping lately though. But more of the story is the 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, is now on Pandora. Yes, you guys. So definitely The new episodes, the live episodes, will be Fridays at 6:15. You guys, yes, Fridays at 6:15 live. It may be some pre-recorded episodes every other Friday or so, but definitely new episodes of Talk Pro Wrestling drops on Fridays. The audio version will be available the next day. So if you want to listen to the podcast on Pandora on your way to work, man, on your way to home from work, or if you're working out, man, definitely check out the 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling on Pandora, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts at, man. For real. Definitely excited. And speaking of Talk Pro Wrestling, I will be talking more about this huge news that broke yesterday, you guys. Jade Cargill, she's a former AEW champion. She was what, TBS champion. She's now a WWE talent now, and I think the fantasy matches that I just play over and over in my head, boy, her versus Charlotte, Jade versus Charlotte, Jade versus Bianca, or teaming up with Bianca, like Jade beating up maybe Nia Jax. I know that's not a odds-on favorite though, but I think this is really awesome, man. I think she's going to flourish and she's going to really do her thing, man, in AEW. So, hey, man, definitely more on that and everything more of wrestling. This coming week on Talk Pro Wrestling, you guys. But man, before I head on out of here in a row, you guys, you know what time it is. It's time for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes, WTF moment of the week. You know I can't leave up out of here by delivering the WTF moment of the week. Now, last week, man, the WTF moment was The Rock returning, The Rock coming back, man. It was insane, man. For real. It was definitely insane. But you guys, man, this week, WTF moment. Now the story is a little bit old though, a little bit, but it's new to me because I'm just hearing about it for real. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, or if you heard about it, yo man, it was a guy and a woman. They was on a blind date. It was on a blind date. I'm not too sure what app they met on. But it was like, yo, we going out, we going on a date. And I believe this happened in China. I'm not quite 100% sure, but you know, a blind date, assures with this woman and this man, and this woman decides to bring home her fucking entire family, 23 members of her family on this blind date that we supposed to have, and the meal comes up to what? I don't know what, $3,000, almost $4,000, and you telling me I come on a blind date and I'm supposed to pay for all 23? You motherfucking nah. You tripping? You are tripping, lady. I don't know what idea or what thought that you had in your mind that you was gonna bring all your family members on this blind date. What if you want them to meet me? And I know things are really different and other cultures and stuff though. But come on though, nah. I don't care how different it is. I don't think it's acceptable to, especially a blind date though. A blind date, we never met before. We probably just chatted on social media or one of these date apps, and then all of a sudden we show up at this restaurant and I'm supposed to pay for all these other meals. You out of your mind, man. You're definitely out of your mind, man. WTF all the way, bro. Like for real, I would leave there too. You gonna pay for that, and all your 23 members of your family, y'all better split the bill. I don't know what y'all gotta do. Y'all better get something, but I'm paying for my meal, and I pay for hers since I'm the man, and we on this blind date. I may pay for you, but I ain't paying for all them 23 people. Nah, they better put up. They better pay for it. And half of me saying, shit, I'm not gonna pay for your damn meal because your ignorant ass brought your entire family and think we supposed to have this dinner and I'm just supposed to pay for it. Man, yeah, okay. WTF all the way, man. Yo, been an amazing show. Great show here this week on the 11:30 podcast, man. For real. Once again, Candice Hall, thank you for coming through here on the 11:30 podcast show. Got some amazing guests that's coming through here on the podcast show this season, man. Thank everyone for tuning in. Thank everyone for subscribing. Thank everyone who shared the podcast or shared the 11:30 podcast on social media. I appreciate it so much, man. We going up. I was recently just speaking with a young lady, and I also wanted to mention this too because, as you guys may know, my big brother was a big inspiration in me getting into podcasting and getting back to stuff that I really wanted to do, man. I always had a vision of sitting in front of a camera doing my thing. I had like a little wrestling show on one of my old laptops that I actually gave to my brother to see if he could fix the screen though. But he gave me another laptop and but um man, oh man, I did that show. It was called SPW. It was called Super Power Wrestling, and that's what I do: sit there in the camera, I be the host, I play the matches on TV and shit like that. And I also had like a radio show younger. I don't remember what name it was, but I act like the wall was a camera. I ain't had no computer at that point, so the wall was a camera, and he was like, "Man, you know what you want to do, man?" I don't know, man. You know it, man. And for me, the rest is history, man. And just started getting into a lot of believing in myself, man, and motivational videos, man, and just taking it one step forward and keep going. And I think that was a real big thing, and he was a real big inspiration to me. He used to send all my episodes, and he got killed last year, man. Miss you, Isaac. And in the midst of him getting killed, man, I couldn't believe it. I was mad, I was angry. It was just like it was a bunch of emotions. So I didn't use the theme song on the last season of the 11:30 podcast. So when I came back this year, man, I said, I sort of dealt with some of the grief. I sort of dealt with being angry and being frustrated and being mad that he's not here no more and stuff like that. And I said, man, I think this would be the beautiful way to, keep my brother and keep him here with me, around me, looking over me, keeping his name, going on, man, because he was a big inspiration to me, just like I was an inspiration to him, So I was just fan of him rapping, and I thank him for everything, you guys. So yeah, that's my brother on the intro song, 11:30 podcast. Yeah, man. So I think that's awesome, man. So Isaac, man, rest up, man. I miss you. And man, yeah, that's that, man. Enough of the emotional stuff, but I appreciate everyone tuning in. Great episode. But before I head on out of here, don't forget to follow the 11:30 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter at the 11 or X, right? It's not Twitter no more. X at the 11:30 podcast. I ain't really on that junk like that. I need to get my X game up. Follow me on TikTok at the 11:30 podcast, on Instagram at the 11:30 podcast _ Facebook at the 11:30 podcast, man. You name it. Definitely in subscribe, man. I don't know what you're waiting for. This was really a great episode. Hit that subscribe button down below. And yeah, man, like it, share it, tell a friend about the 11:30 podcast. But you guys, man, until next time, I'm gonna head on out of here. You guys, man, stay safe, stay blessed, give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? Man, Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. And I'm out.
I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. 11:30 podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one. Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Let's get it, yeah. Who with me? Yeah. I'm from the city, DC, that's where I'm from. Let's get it. 11:30 podcast, Dre on Wheels, he is the one.
He the one, nigga. So
let's get it,
baby. He the one.
Who with me?
So the breeze, baby.
Let's get it.
You
Who with me? Yeah, they gon' hate, but they ain't stopping this. I'ma keep making hits. Dre and Wills, you know it ain't no copying. Was you sitting there on the carpet with us? Yeah, we knew we had some options.